What's good, y'all? Sean Peter Blumfcott. Hey! And I'm back. And we got my dog, Elijah. What's good? ELiDZ. Yeah, go check out his YouTube. You know, I love doing collaborations with this man. And we're also streaming on his YouTube. So shout out to all his subscribers and everybody following him. And if you're watching on my YouTube, make sure you hit that subscription because I will be doing a giveaway at 50 subscribers. I will be giving away two of these One Piece Straw Hat Jolly Rogers. Just to let y'all know. But what's up with you? What's going on with ELiDZ? Okay, okay. And this is a random stream. We kind of, decided to do this spontaneously. I just got back from Ohio, and he was like, "Hey, let's do something." So, got to hit y'all with a discussion today. But so where do we start? Where do we start? What do you got playing? Like, you say you had some content, some videos playing. What's going on with that? Got my smoothie. You said you having difficulties. Was it the stream, the YouTube stream? I had my desktop muted, so I don't know if y'all heard, but yeah. So about these chapters that we've been having, and like especially the most recent chapter. I kind of want to give him a chance. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a chance to fix any the issues you got before we get into that.
I think I figured it out. Yeah, okay, I figured it out. Yeah, now I know what it was. It was Zoom.
Okay.
And it should be good. Okay, there we go. The so just to let people know, we're trying something new where I'm using two different cameras, basically two different zooms. So because I had a Zoom on my computer, it wasn't picking up the audio that I'm speaking into
Mm-hmm.
originally.
All right. So you good though now?
I think there's one more thing I need to check.
Work with us, y'all.
Uh, I know what I should do. I just shouldn't use the input because the audio will show up double.
Oh, what? What's going on with my Zoom?
Yep, I knew. I figured it out. All right, that fixes it.
Talking about my contact your
Thank
IT.
you, cliche fiction. Oh, it was a new idea, and I had to learn right on the fly, but I think I have it figured out.
So you good?
Yeah.
Cause now my Zoom is acting like they talking about is gonna be. All right, so you ready?
Yep.
All right, so okay. So, what have you been? What's your thoughts on the last chapter?
Uh, I think the last two chapters are toss up for my favorite in a while. Um, it was good to finally see direction for Sanji. That
Yeah,
is, that seems to be more set in stone. Like the raid suit is something he's obviously conflicted in. It's like, will he, won't he? But this
mm-hmm.
whole DNA evolution is like he has no choice. It's just it's going to be a part of who he is now,
Yeah,
whether or not he wants to put on a suit. So it's cool to see that he has that in the works.
yeah, yeah. I kind of said that in my I said something like that in my 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 review, my discussion yesterday, right? Like I said that Sanji is going to be pretty much forced to accept his lineage because like he's been running from it for so long. Like he's almost forced to accept. He has to, like he runs from being a vent smoke for so long, but he's being his body's biologically, I guess, awakened or whatever.
Yeah,
So
it very much seems like that.
so now he's going to be like his siblings and his raid suit. He's going to be forced to use his raid suit. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I think I know what's going on with my Zoom. Cause I don't like I don't I'm not paying, like I don't have the pro membership of it, and
Hmm.
you can only do two people at a time.
Uh,
So it's the Zoom call is about to end in like 7 minutes on
mm,
my thing. So
yeah, that is.
I don't know if like you drop one of, I guess, the other one,
Hmm.
if you could,
Yeah, let's see if we can figure that
or would that mess up your stream?
out. Not necessarily if I just do the virtual webcam.
Yeah, if I kick the other because I might have to do that in order to keep the Zoom meeting going.
Yeah,
And if not, I might have to restart a whole new Zoom meeting and invite you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, forgot that's how Zoom works.
So I'll probably kick it. I'm gonna kick the third one. I'm gonna have to resize all my stuff for my stream,
Yeah.
but I just had to do that for.
Ooh, that
Uh,
was the wrong one.
so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna start a new stream, but we could
Okay.
you should be able to stay live though. So yeah, I'm gonna start. We're gonna start a new stream because now the Zoom meeting's going to close and or we could keep. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, and you know what I'm saying. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
I just had to resize my. Yeah, but what was you saying about Sanji?
Well, actually, the problem on my end is the Zoom you kicked out was the computer.
Oh,
Yeah. So
so
now I can't hear you on my stream. I can fix
you say you can't hear me on your
it.
stream?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad this was a freestyle stream. So now we can learn for when it's actual real stream
Yeah, right.
how to go about this.
I mean,
But
it is still a real stream though. We still are streaming.
yeah, but this was I'd rather it be today than another
Yeah.
day when it's like we have actual chapter to talk about. To this was me just more like just wanting to stream for the sake of it, try this new idea out. But we'll work out the kinks. I'm gonna have a
So
good
everybody
time.
watching, in about 4 minutes, this Zoom call is probably going to end, and I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. Matter of fact, we're going to basically take a break, fix the stream, come back.
Yeah,
All right. So we'll do
I
that.
most likely won't stream again on my thing. I'll just join your stream, uh, just to make it easier for everyone. But I do want to just talk real quick about future topics. If you join the last stream, these are topics I talked on the last stream. But these are videos I'm working on. It's gonna be about Gear Fifth and a new Nightmare Luffy. That's actually something I talked about last stream, but I'm putting in the works and it's becoming way better than just chatting about it casually. I actually put it together a legit video essay about this. I might even release it in multiple parts. I have a like 1 minute video on a quick theory about where I think Hydro's poneglyph is. I'm making a video about the concept of hell or the Red Sea that could exist in One Piece, and a final video about Emo and how he could be immortal. That's probably gonna be much later down the works, probably after even my understanding hockey part 4. But even though there's so many technical difficulties, thank you for whoever joined today's stream and being along this journey of me making videos. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna get this sorted out. I'm planning on possibly making a future stream where I just watch my adult, sorry, understanding hockey, just so it could give me a refresher on the my own theory because there's so much, and I'll just tell you my behind the scenes and what I'm working on for understanding hockey part 4. But that'll be it for today. Thank you.
So anybody following me, y'all know what he has planned, and check him out. So we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna restart my Zoom, so we don't get cut off in the midst of discussion. And I hope everybody on his channel come to my channel and continue to watch our stream. So, all right, we'll be back.
Yep. Okay. Gotcha.
All right. Okay, so I think we good. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, sorry about that. You know, this was kind of this whole stream was kind of spur of the moment for us. So yeah, but we about to get into it. So all right. So trying to think. We was talking about Sanji, right? Yeah. So Sanji's DNA. Do you? So let me ask you something. Do you believe that? Do you think like what do you think caused Sanji's? I guess cells or in like vent smoke cells or DNA. What do you think? What do you think caused it to awaken? Yeah,
To his DNA. He has to. He's the only one that can open that can of soup to get his suit. A can of soup. There we go. That's probably not a pun Oda intended, but that can of soup
I mean he is
has to
was
react
supposed to be
to his
Naruto.
own DNA.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what
So
I was
if that's
thinking.
the case, there's already a. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. My bad.
I was just saying, if his DNA is used as a key, then it's only natural that the suit is reacting to it, and maybe it like everything was dormant from whatever Sora did when she was pregnant with Sanji.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the next question is he gonna get a new elemental ability?
Yeah.
Now, there's
Kind
the
of like his
obvious
siblings.
conclusion, yeah, that his fire powers is his Vin Smoke ability. I mean,
Mm,
that could be the case, or that isn't the case, and he's gonna awaken a new ability.
yeah. I mean that's logical right there. Like what you have what vent smoke you have wintergreen.
Hmm.
What was that? The second one, right? The second one,
Uh,
or that's Yonji.
Electric
Yonji's
Blue.
electric blue, Niji,
Hmm. In terms
red,
of number, the first is the Sparking Red,
sparkling red
then
Ichiji.
Blue, then Stealth Black, which I always found weird. It's kind of like I don't know because if they're going by color scheme, he would be yellow,
I mean, yeah,
because of hair.
but he does wear black a
But
lot though.
when you think about it, maybe him having yellow hair was actually just part of the birth defects, and his hair was originally going to be black. So maybe he'll have a transformation where his hair turns black. That's possible. I
That would
actually
be
never thought
wild.
about that till just now.
That
Yeah.
would be wild. Have like a, but no, I think his hair is gonna be yellow. It's too defining for Sanji.
Yeah. I
Like,
would prefer it to stay yellow.
yeah. So okay, so I wanted to ask, like I wanted to ask you something. I've seen a theory. Like I didn't see the whole theory because I didn't want. I seen there was a theory. I didn't watch it because I wanted to wait till after I did my chapter review before I watched it because I didn't. I try not to get influenced by outside stuff when I'm doing my chapter stuff because then I feel as though it's affecting my original thought on it. I guess. So I
Yeah, I
did.
completely get that.
Yeah, but since I was going so long, I kind of people was posting. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was real hard. So I did see some stuff, and one thing I seen was pertaining to King. Right? Like we know King is from a rare race of people. I forget if they said the name of his people, but I I think they did in the recent chapter. But we see where his face was ripped, right? Where his mask. Somebody pointed out that, you know, like if you look at his eyebrow, the left eyebrow, I think, there was it looked like a tattoo or something. And somebody said it could possibly be like a sun tattoo, or if not a sun tattoo, kind of like with the tattoos that they give the slaves. Because it looked like it had like two little triangles right there. And that kind of made me think, like, could King have been a slave? You know what I'm saying? Like, because think about it.
Yeah.
I always look at King as kind of like, you know, he got like these angel wings, right? And maybe he comes from like an angelic group of people, you know, like scorpions, because, you know, like maybe they were almost revered as gods. And then the Celestials came along and enslaved them or you know, exterminated them. You know, like what's your thoughts? You know, what's your thoughts on King and everything?
I mean, it adds up. Like for one, Marco said, "Oh, you guys lived above the Grand Line." Like that's a very specific thing to say. You know, if they lived really high up, he could have said, "Oh, you guys lived above the clouds." I mean, he specifically said the red line.
Yeah.
Who do we know lives atop the red
Marijoa.
line, the celestial dragon? And if the celestial dragons want to be considered gods, and you have these other guys already revered as gods, you're going to be like, well, there's not enough room for all these gods. So, you know, maybe that's other motivation. We already know celestial dragons like rare people, so King being a slave would make a lot of sense. So, yeah, I could see a lot of that. And then when you think about King's character, uh, he obviously is sadistic, and maybe that's part of him uh, internalizing something he went through as a slave.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he clearly seems like weirdly BDM-S gimp type of outfit, and that's definitely a theme there. So, you know, I mean, there could be something to that.
I mean, when you look at like BDSM, it's almost like sexual type slavery type stuff. You know, it's like slavery but sexual almost. You know, like involuntary and also voluntary. So, you know, maybe being a slave kind of, it's almost also like what he's comfortable in that situation. You know, he's comfortable feeling like a slave. Like I don't like what's that thing called? Like it's a
Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome, exactly. Like it's a Stockholm syndrome type thing where it's just where how he feels comfortable being in chains or being in some type of bondage. You know what I mean? So, like that's one thing I could attribute it to. You know, and what about? I'm thinking. Like Queen, right? When he shot his neck out. Like that was pretty funny. Like
typical Oda. Yeah.
I don't know why I thought about that. That was just a random thought. That's not something I wanted to really touch on, but moving on. Robin, right? You know. Now this is what I've been talking about for the longest. You know, I said it in my chapter discussion yesterday. Like, when is the importance of Robin going to come into play in the story? Right? Yeah. You know, she's the only character we know of that can read the poneglyphs. That's alive, at least. I'm not saying that, you know, ever. I'm just saying that is currently alive. You know, now Big Mom has Puddin, who supposedly, I guess, if her eye awakens, maybe she could read the poneglyph or have the ability. So maybe 3-eyed people could read it if their eyes open or it awaken. But as far as Robin, you know, I always thought why other pirates aren't trying to catch Robin. You know.
I think in addition to that, why isn't her bounty higher? Like if the government wants her that bad, you think they would incentivize people a little more. The
Yeah.
bounty's really not that high,
Yeah.
considering how important she is and how much of a threat she is.
Yeah.
I always
No,
found
that's
that interesting. But
uh,
I feel like that could be to it's more for the Straw Hat dynamic in terms of fandom. Maybe it wouldn't be as good of a look to have, Robin have a higher bounty than Sanji and Zorro.
mm-hmm.
But I feel like within the story, it would make sense for, you know, Robin to have the fourth highest bounty, maybe even higher than Sanji,
Yeah. Yeah.
it, based off how much of a threat she is. And when you look back on the story, it's very peculiar that we haven't seen more pirates want to capture Robin. In fact, it really isn't until now that we see pirates wanting to capture Robin. It's like, what about when she was in Rosa? Why wasn't Doflamingo like trying to capture her as much? It really didn't seem like it was as much urgency to capture
Yeah.
her.
Why isn't Kaido or Big Mom trying to catch her? You know, they have the means. Like they have the manpower to send people. It ain't like some ragtag pirate group that's just like, hey, we gotta go confront the Straw Hats. No, it's like Kaido could go himself and you know probably succeed, uh, have a higher success rate more than anybody else in his crew. But he also has a crew of powerful individuals. Same with Big Mom and which kind of leads me into Blackbeard, right?
Yeah. To give Oda and Kaido credit, we have seen Black Maria say, "Oh, we're gonna capture her." We did see just this chapter that one of the underlings say capture. But at the same time, it's like it's a little too late to be adding that in when you could have been doing that a little bit more,
Yeah,
sprinkling it throughout the series. It seems like all of a sudden now it's happening
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's more
yeah,
relevant to the plot.
yeah, exactly. And but I mean, it kind of makes sense though that it would be CP0 that really bring it up,
Oh, definitely
and
them.
especially Lucci of all people.
Yeah, I
Rob
actually
Lucci of
mentioned
all
this.
people.
I had a theory about like how I think I said because Robin is in the revolution and it's clear that CP0 and the Revolutionary Army are rivals.
Hmm.
In addition, it seems there's almost a rivalry set up between Sword and Revolutionary. Like I think at some point in the story, you might see both Sword and Revolutionary fighting to help protect Robin against CP0. And
Yeah,
in this theory, I say, maybe Saul is actually still alive and in Sword. So that kind of brings, Robin has connection to the revolutionaries, right? She's friends with Koala and Sabo and them. She's
she's
also,
somewhat friendly with Aokiji. Aokiji
yeah,
could have
exactly,
done something, but Aokiji has a
precisely.
soft spot for her because of
hmm
Saul.
So
But
yeah, I've been like, when is that going to happen in the story? And it's seeming like it's getting there.
the
CP0 is going after Robin,
but
and they're ordered to now.
what's more shocking to me, but
hmm
it's kind of not, because I'm gonna kind of explain why. Is Blackbeard, like because
hmm
I would think Blackbeard would be smart enough because Blackbeard is more of a thinker. Like he's someone who's going to like plan something out and find all the best avenues, the best routes to go to get there as easiest as possible. So I would think Robin would be a priority for Blackbeard, but I think maybe she's not because because I brought this up yesterday, and I look at it like this. I think Oda said if Blackbeard wasn't a pirate, his job would be a archaeologist. I think,
hmm
or maybe Like Robin is what? Robin would have been
Um,
considered a what?
yeah,
Anthropologist, like a
it's the basically just to say what it was. I don't know if I can remember exactly, but it was the study of history.
yeah.
Basically the same thing as Robin.
And Blackbeard is not that far off. Like he's someone
hmm
who's very smart. He gathers information well. Like he know. supposedly he knows a lot about black or devil fruits. So he's a man of intellect and means, and he gains knowledge, right? So I'm thinking like maybe Blackbeard may know how to read the poneglyphs.
Yeah. I mean, for all we know, we don't know enough about his background, where he came from.
He's,
He might just be able to do it himself.
either like I could think a couple with like if he has multiple souls within him, maybe one of them souls no, like let's say it's Zebek, right? Let's say if he's holding the soul of Zebek within him, which is why they and I would say he might have multiple souls because that's kind of one of my theories. Because remember when Luffy and Zorro seen Blackbeard and they was like, oh, it's them. It's like multiple people.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that might be a case for Blackbeard, but maybe he has a Zebek within him, and Zebek knows how to read poneglyphs or something. I don't know, but it's like I feel as though if there's one other person who could potentially know how to read poneglyphs, is Blackbeard. You know what I'm saying? And I don't
Yamato too, because she's Odin, obviously.
I mean, not really.
No way. But yeah, that would be a great twist. I mean, it could be him or someone in his crew, but if I had to choose between the two, I think it would be awesome if he could do it. Because in some ways, he does seem like a silly oaf. He seems similar to Luffy in that way. So for him to come out and be like, oh, by the way, I can read the poneglyphs, that would put his respect level so high, even without him having to be strong. Like, we already know he can create earthquakes and he's super strong. But for him to be like, I'm also intelligent enough to read this ancient text would be great for his character.
Yeah. Even if it's not necessarily him, like let's say he has those multiple souls or personalities within him, and he could just switch to that, and then that person knows how to kind of like Shui Shui from Shu Shui from Yu Yu Hakusho. How he had all them, and they was really like different people almost. But yeah, like I think Blackbeard could potentially know how to read the poneglyphs, and I don't think nobody ever really like anybody in the chat or the comments correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think nobody ever brought up the possibility of Blackbeard knowing how to read poneglyphs, and I kind of find that interesting because I think Blackbeard's he's a historian, kind of like Robin, pretty much.
Yeah.
He's a man of trying to go find out truth and things like that. But yeah, so you got something?
What are your thoughts at this point on Zorro? I think for me, I thought going into Zorro, we were gonna find out, his connection to Wano, and then like 100 chapters later, we didn't really get much, and then out of nowhere, we find out, oh wait, he might be the son of a daimyo. So it's like, where could they be going with that?
What are my thoughts?
This late in the game.
I mean, I've always, for one, I've always kind of like been a believer that Ryuma is like Zoro's ancestor, because if you read the one shot, was it Monsters or was it? Yeah, it was Monsters with Ryuma, right? Ryuma looked like a young Ryuma looks just like Zorro. You know what I'm saying? Except with black hair and a top knot. He's a swordsman, so. And I'm not saying just because I'm not, but it's just a lot of similarities that just kind of shrug off as coincidence to me. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think we also found out that Ryuma is a Shimoski. I don't know if I said the name right, but the clan name right. But yeah, so we also found out he's one. So it's like, yeah. That's kind of my belief. I kind of knew it. I knew he had ties to Wano. I wish Oda would have gave us more, like give us more with it, you know, and maybe he will, because you know there still could be 2 more acts. Like you look how deep we're in the this arc, and we still possibly got 2 more acts, you know, or at least one maybe, you know.
Yeah, I think for it to be revealed this late, I think tells us that there's not going to be too much to it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about Zoro's character, it's befitting because it's like Zoro's not a freedom fighter. He's here to fight because he's with Luffy. He does care about people in the moment. Like if he sees someone getting bullied or harassed or something, he might step in and do something. He
Yeah,
might, maybe he will, maybe he won't. Maybe it's depending on how he's feeling. You know, sometimes you can't imagine Zoro just walking away. Sometimes you know he's gonna begrudgingly step in or whatever. But he's just here in the moment. He's just a very in the moment person. It's not like him to connect with the past and be like, oh, this is my destiny and all that stuff. It's
yeah,
like
no, I agree
all
with it.
there's only two things he really cares about: helping Luffy achieve his dream and achieving his own dream, which is to be the best swordsman in the world.
Yeah,
There's not too much to him, so
yeah,
I can't imagine him becoming a Wano patriot all of a sudden.
yeah. Nah, I get what you're saying, and I think there's going to be more of it, because I remember him saying like he wants to visit Ryuma's grave, and I
Hmm.
think at that point we'll probably get like a little more, a little something, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like somebody might tell him a story like, oh yeah, such and such, such, and then Ryuma's grandchild went to the East Blue and had a family, and and come find like, but you know it may not be nothing grand, like he's some prince, or you know,
Yeah,
you know. I think being a descendant of Ryuma is enough. You know
yeah.
what I'm
It
saying?
can be something brief.
Yeah,
It'll probably be impactful, but
yeah,
nothing drawn out, nothing like it's gonna be even life changing. Like it'll just be something that he'll take with him, he'll probably cherish and appreciate, but it's not gonna alter the course of his entire life, I think.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree with you. So, what was I going to say? I'm trying to. Unless you got some.
Well, um, I think it's so obvious it's being set up for Chopper to save the day because uh, the cherry blossom tree
Mm-hmm.
that he completely forgot about and doesn't care about is just gonna sprout up one day. No, I only bring that up because Chopper, for the longest time, he hasn't really done much. He's just like, I'm around. He does something every once in a while, but it's like, when is Chopper finally gonna get his moment to really, really do something? And I really, at this point, I think it's gonna come when Vegapunk. I thought
Yeah,
in this arc something would happen because the cherry blossom tree was so important to him. It was a thing of legend, of myth that is basically his adopted father, Hirulu, told him. And now he's in Wano, the literal Japan of One Piece. And there was no mention of anything to do with cherry blossom trees.
yeah,
I have a joke in my head that, like, at the end of the arc, they're going to be sailing away from Wano. They're all going to be like, wow, we're sure going to miss this place. We're leaving it behind. And then Chopper's going to turn around and he's going to see a cherry blossom tree. And he's like, wait, can we turn back around? It's like, nah, it's time to go.
no, too late. so,
Yeah.
I kind of want to go back to CP0, man. Like, because we kind of talked about them bringing Robin up, but one thing I
Yeah.
kind of glossed over was when they talked about, because you mentioned Vegapunk, and that kind of
Hmm.
reminded me that like something I wanted, like Vegapunk, and
Yeah.
they talked about how you know Vegapunk, like they be like, hey, there's another dragon, so that must be Vegapunk's devil fruit, right?
Hmm.
And I just find it interesting, right? Because I don't know if that would necessarily be classified as a smile devil fruit, even though it is artificial, like a smile devil fruit. Because I think smile devil fruits were more of a Caesar creation, you
Hmm.
know. But it's kind of wild how good that devil fruit is. Like it's almost
Yeah,
like a real devil fruit, and it's exactly almost like Kaido's devil fruit.
yeah, we
So
haven't seen any drawbacks.
yeah, so I'm like, but the thing is, what led me to thinking is why is it so similar to Kaido's devil
Hmm.
fruit? Like why like think about it, right? Like I've seen theories talking about like Kaido was a creation. He was made in the lab. I don't
Yeah.
believe that. I think he comes from an ogre race. And I think
Hmm.
that for me that was kind of confirmed in a couple chapters ago when they
Yeah,
called
when they
Yamato
first
the
met.
ogre princess. Like they
Yeah.
was like, yeah, the ogre princess. So yeah, it just makes me believe there's a race of ogres and like Ors Junior.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I don't think Kaido was created in the lab. But I'm thinking maybe somehow they got Kaido's DNA, or at least the devil fruit possibly that Kaido has. Like, what are your thoughts? Like,
Yeah, and didn't they like confirm that or something? I could have sworn they said something about that. Like the CPC Euro said it was from. Maybe I'm just making it up in
Kaido's
my head, but I
DNA.
could have. Yeah, I could have sworn they said it like straight up. It's just like, oh, that was from Kaido's DNA.
Mm, maybe it was confirmed. I'm gonna have to look back into that because
Yeah,
you might be right.
yeah. I'm sure if you look on the wiki, if it's there, it's gonna be like in the citations or whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think it's indicative of there being a link between DNA and devil fruits. And that's
yeah,
actually something I'm going to talk about in Understanding Hockey Part 4. In my Understanding Hockey series, I actually reference DNA quite a few times. And one of the things I say is that DNA and the physical and the spiritual are two sides of the same coin. So on one side, you could have things like DNA, your body, organs, and on the other side, you could have a breakdown of a spiritual soul. There's a spirit, there's a spiritual heart, blah blah blah, all those type of things. And I think that's what is actually going to connect Sanji and the Vinsmokes to Devil Fruit. Because if you notice, Sanji and his brothers have the same eyebrow pattern that Devil Fruits have,
yeah.
and their
Swirl.
whole existence is the fact that their DNA was manipulated to give them powers, similar to like what devil fruit would do for a person.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, because I'm thinking maybe that's the difference between like Vegapunk's artificial fruits and Caesar's, right? Like Vegapunk probably went to the source of like a devil fruit user, their DNA, versus Caesar who might have been using animals or something. Like
Yeah, I think he was doing the same thing, but not to that level. He couldn't reach there.
yeah,
He might have been only understanding too much on a physical level. And that's why he could only make zones.
yeah. Then you cut out. Hey,
It's almost like he was just grafting um, animals onto people, just physically. Which, as impressive as that is, when you think about it, other people have already done that. Like, let's look at Thriller Bark and what Dr. Hogbach was doing.
yeah,
Like, it's like that's impressive to a point. It's not even so much like he was really giving them powers.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. That's true.
I think Dr. Vegapunk is entering the story soon. I think
He
in
has to,
that
man.
he's going to be explaining the mysteries of hockey and devil fruits. And that's why I need to hurry up and make my understanding hockey videos. I want to make it like just gathering things. I don't want to get too much information. I'll get really unmotivated to make it. I want to see what I can come up with before Oda finally reveals it.
Yeah, yeah. I get you. I get you. So I got like I guess one last thing, and then I'll give you whatever. any topics you wanna bring up. But okay, so one thing I brought up before was CP0's role in the arc. You know, why are they there? You know, like because I didn't believe that Oda was going to waste the opportunity to use CP0 in a situation like this where there's two world government enemies right in front of them that's beating each other down, right? Yeah. So in recent chapter, Rob Lucci said they have orders to basically reclaim Wano. I guess in the case that Kaido loses, but I would think they would do it regardless. If you know, it's just they might have to finish off Kaido. But I'm thinking like I was thinking, we see the ships coming to Wano, right? Like, do you think that there might be like maybe an admiral on one of those ships? And who, if so? Because I have an idea. Like, I think there's a specific admiral coming around.
So, the quick answer to like who, before I get into the more long thing, is it's more just who I hope it would be, and it would be two admirals. Okay. If I had to choose between these two, I would want Fujitora, but I think it would be Fujitora and Green Bull. I mean, why would Akainu go? Now Kizaru could go too, and that still would be satisfying because Kizaru for some reason has a lot of Japanese themed attacks, like actually based off Japanese culture.
Yeah.
He refers like I think he refers to Amaterasu, like the Shinto gods and stuff. Yeah. So that'd be interesting seeing like maybe he has some link there and has some inspiration. So
you kind of gave me an idea, like
pretty cool.
You kind of gave me a whole theory, Joe. But I'm gonna let you finish. My bad.
Yeah, if Kizaru came, maybe he would bring his niece or whatever, that guy he hangs out with, Sentomaru.
Yeah,
he's very Wano-esque, so I think there could be potential for something there. But
and he, so I'm sorry to cut you off, but Sentomaru, his job is to protect Vegapunk.
Yeah, there you go.
So if him and Sentomaru are together, I will also think maybe Vegapunk is around.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, Kizaru makes way more sense to go there than Green Bull. The only reason I want to see Green Bull go is because I just want to see the guy.
Yeah, I get it.
So it's not even really a rational reason why I want Green Bull to be there. It's just, come on, show us him already. But yeah. And now, before you said who is, on it and, like if they're coming, the question is, are they even sending Marines? Because the world government doesn't just have the Marines, they also have CP0 in their own forces. So, that's an interesting.
Maybe Rob Lucci's on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They might not even be trying to send Marines. Doesn't mean the Marines aren't coming, but maybe the world government don't intend to send the Marines, and that could create some conflict between the world government and the Marines to be like, why would you send these guys when we could go? So that'd be an interesting plot line right there.
I figured the Marines because they're more of a fleet, where CP0 is more of like a organization, kind of like that might be a smaller manpower, like more for espionage type stuff and not for all out fighting. But
but I could imagine that the world government does have a fleet because they wouldn't want to rely solely on the Marines.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be just a specific select few of that the world government always has on standby. When they need.
Yeah. So like my idea was like Kizaru, and mostly because like when he but you gave me more things to think about, but mostly because he already kind of volunteered to go the Akainu, but Akainu was just like wait up, we don't really know about these samurais, so just stand by. So I'm thinking like, okay, maybe he's just going to send them. But but I could see two admirals going and it being Kizaru and Fujitora and the reason I could end up seeing them possibly fighting or maybe a little dissension being caught, because Kizaru's kind of a neutral character, but he's more like on the evil neutral side. Like he's neutral because he doesn't really care, but he also realizes who he works for, and he's going to do what they tell him to. He's going to do it.
Yeah.
He's going to follow orders.
He's kind of evil by association for being passive.
Yeah, Fujitaro's like
He'll push back.
He follows orders, but he also has a code or more moralistic. So I could see if I say they do send both, right? They send both to do it. Maybe somehow Fujitaro and Kizaru kind of like, you know what? Like let's say Luffy, like they see Luffy's about to save Wano, right? And maybe Wano is about to be in danger and Luffy's about to save him. Kizaru might be like, look, I came to kill Luffy. Like I don't care. But Fujitaro's like, look, bro, like I know we came to kill Luffy, but he's trying to save these people, so I can't let you stop him from saving the people. Maybe afterwards, cool, but why he's trying to save people? And Kizaru's like, that's not my problem. Following orders. And then maybe some dissension happened, and then this could be kind of the catalyst for maybe a divergent in the Marines. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like that idea of. And I don't know, I just thought of that, like, because what you said about them being two admirals, and if you send no specific, I feel as though you could create that dynamic.
Yeah.
Because we know how both of them already are, so it's already established that one is more towards this type of justice, and then,
I'm thinking another reason why Kizaru could be sent is because it would be funny, Apu and Drake are fighting, and then all of a sudden, Kizaru's there, and he wrecks them. They're like, "Damn it, again!" That would be funny,
bruh. That was one of my favorite moments in One Piece was when Kizaru shows up. It just wipes the floor with the supernova.
Yeah, for a long time, Kizaru was my favorite character. I mean, he's still really high up there.
He's my second favorite.
Other cool characters. Yeah,
he's like.
How can you not like him?
For me, it's Mihawk, then Kizaru, and then probably Garp. Because I honestly, like I've said before, I think Garp is probably the best written
he's
in the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as just how he's written, I think Garp is just, and he's like an older Luffy.
And there's so much more to his story to be revealed.
Exactly. His son became a revolutionary. His grandson became a pirate. Like, he was cool with the king.
And he clearly still loves them. It's not he doesn't like hate them too. I mean, that's one of the best things about his character is that it's not like I hate you now. It's like you guys aren't on my side, but I still love you. You're still my son. You're still my grandson.
He had to watch his adoptive son die, or his adoptive grandson. He was almost cool with Goldie Roger, like the pirate. He was also rivals with Goldie Roger. I mean, the man is just. Wow, but Kizaru, like, I feel as though you take away any restrictions, Kizaru could have one of the most craziest abilities that have to deal with. But which is another reason why I think Fujitaro could be a good to send Fujitaro, because I think Fujitaro is the perfect. Him and Blackbeard are like the perfect matchups for Kizaru, because like light is affected by gravity. And it's just Fujitaro has to have a high gravity output to really have it affect the light. But, he could be someone that kind of keeps Kizaru in check. You know what I'm saying? So for
Fujitaro, I didn't really explain why I would want him there, but it's actually very simple. Because he's a freaking blind samurai. I mean,
I knew that's what I already knew.
See where he would be there.
I already knew that's what you.
It kind of goes without saying, but here's one reason why he wouldn't be there. Because he would make it way too easy for the allies. Because he sees the island falling, he's just like, okay, I'm just gonna move it over there.
Yeah.
There would be no tension if he showed up. So maybe it's like he won't show up just yet. He'll show up at the very end. Maybe something like that. If he showed up in the middle of something, which I think would be cool for them to show up in the middle of the conflict, that would be cool. But I feel like if Fujitaro comes, it has to be after the conflict. Because he'll just make it way too easy.
And this kind of leads to my last my last question. I know that one question I had, but you kind of made me come up with this last question. when you talk about the island,
Hmm.
do you think the arc ends when the on, or do you think like everything is finished
I
when
think the arc ends
Onigashima falls?
when it falls on the Capitol and everybody dies from the explosion. That's when it ends.
Well, we
I
know
think
that's not gonna happen, but when the danger of Onigashima passes, do you think it's basically over?
I think that's how it's going to be presented, and then you realize, oh wait, no, it's not over. There's still danger, and it's going to be like a Marineford type of ending where
Like
it's
they
like
thought they took
it's
care
not
of
a
Kaido.
very good ending.
Yeah.
It's going to be a pretty tragic ending. Um, but
You think Wano's gonna end in a tragedy?
I think it has to have something that really, really raises the stakes to where it's like no more playing around. This is the end game.
I agree with you on that. And that's why I believe Kaido should win in the end,
Hmm.
or at least win in a sense where they don't defeat him. Like, I'm not saying he has to, like, he could retreat, but where he's not put down. You know,
Hmm.
where it's like he's like, you know what, this ain't worth it. Like, that's why I think it should be like that. So or maybe a flat out defeat. You
Hmm.
know, but I think there do need to be some closure for Wano at least.
Yeah.
That's why I'm kind of more like like Kaido should leave. You know, maybe like almost destroy Wano, but he doesn't really finish the job that he sets. Like, he thought he killed, like, killed everybody, but people survived. Like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe what's the name? What's the name who does the shields? Um,
Oh, Bartholomew.
yeah,
No,
Bartholomew.
that's
May,
Uma.
no, it's Bartholomew. It's something like that. Bartholomew is something
Yeah.
like that. Maybe he
Well, yeah,
shows
it is.
up and like protects everybody with a shield. Like, I don't know,
Hmm.
but yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of thinking a tragedy. You know, maybe this act ends in a tragedy, like in a defeat of the Allies, but the arc isn't fully finished. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got. I know you
Yeah.
said you
I'll
couldn't.
finish off with saying I got some time, probably another 10, 15 minutes. So I'll just use it as it's time to just sign off. Uh, if you look at the latest chapter, it starts out with this. Now you can imagine how I'm hyped to see this. It's like either something that I've been wanting to happen is happening, or I'm straight up getting trolled because I've been saying for the longest time that I think Luffy's gonna get a fire form in this arc that is sun-based theme, and this was before Nico was even brought into the story. My video was up saying I think there's gonna be a Gear 4 Sunman. My theory has been evolved since then, and I have this idea that it could be a Gear 5th, and the theme of Gear 4th is like blank man, this man, that man,
Cutting out.
and maybe in Gear 5th, maybe he'll have a Gear 5th Sun God. Oh, might be my connection, or it could be my headphone.
You
Let me see.
back now.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking, what if it's like a Gear 4th Sun Man, something like that. So, sorry, Gear 5th Sun God, kind of raises up. It's like an evolution off of Gear 4th. And I that theory just kind of builds off the Sunman thing. But then I started thinking to myself, Gear 4th has three forms, right? It has multiple forms. So maybe Gear 5th, if it does follow this new form, godly
Mm-hmm.
form, it could have multiple forms. So then I started thinking to myself, what could other forms be? Well, if there's a sun god, maybe there'll be a moon god. And then I thought, well, how could a moon god work? Well, if sun god is like fire based, moon god might be water based. Um, Kind of like what you were saying with that theory that I'm gonna have to check out with Emu and the moon and the water. Like, there's a reason why the moon and the water, go together. So, I I actually come up with I conceptualize it like what could a moon man be? Like what could his powers be? And basically, just to give a quick summary of how it'd be, is basically just be like an aura shield, like a hockey, like the aura, fluid aura on advanced arm in hockey, but all over his body in a sphere shape, like a bubble shield.
Mm-hmm.
And so many cool things can come from that, especially since what I theorize Gear Fifth being is a combination of his mastery of hockey, of course, but also Devil Fruit Awakening. So he would find a way to give that aura shield the properties of rubber, and then he could come up with so many cool things like that. Maybe he could make a pun. I speculate it would be called bubble gum.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so that's that. And then I thought, what's another form he could come up with? So then I thought of Earth God, sun, moon, earth. And it actually works perfectly with my hockey theory because I think Armin has three forms. The first is root, it's earth. Second is sacral, it's water. And then the third is fire. So then Earth would just be Luffy focusing on the hardening and armament, and it would be him taking in a whole bunch of air, but not like Gear Fourth or Third, where he's targeting bone balloon or muscle balloon. It would literally make his entire body grow until he's literally a giant.
Yeah.
Uh, just a giant, fully clad in armament hockey, and I think that would be deserving and be considered a god if he was like just huge and he could have lightning-based conquerors attack. He calls them Thor
Mm-hmm.
punches and stuff like that. That would make sense because he already has Thor-themed attacks. The giants in One Piece are based off of Norse mythology. The theory just writes itself. So that's a future video I'm coming up with.
Yeah.
I go into a lot more detail.
Man, I almost had another question, but I ain't
Earlier,
gonna. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh please, I got time. If you just want to ask,
No. I was just
no,
going to talk about the splitting of the
remember the
sky.
question when the video comes out.
No, I'm saying I remember that. Like I was going to say something about the when they split the sky, him and Kaido,
Oh yeah,
and it was kind of like that.
yeah.
I think that might be like his ascension when he's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, he arrived to the big dogs, but so
He's getting there.
yeah. But yeah, that's all I had.
You mentioned earlier, like it's confirmed that there's an ogre or oni theme, and it's like if there are those guys, where do they come from? So then I have this theory about the Red Sea, the hell, just like there's a heaven in the sky with the Sky Islands, there's a hell underground in the mantle of the earth, where
Mm-hmm.
it's like a sea made of magma. So I come up with that theory. Then, lastly, why Emu is immortal, and how I think Emu is able to almost replicate the powers of the Opi Opi no Mi, specifically the powers of the switching of personalities or switching bodies and the immortality thing. And that's the secret. And that's why Doflamingo wanted those fruits because he wants to replicate that for himself. And I
You
go into detail why I think about all that.
You know about the immortality. I think that theory, the one I told you I reacted to, it talked. I guess part of that theory was
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was something about Marijoa having like a certain quality of air, right?
Mm.
And people who have access to this air are basically immortal, and
Mm.
supposedly like one of the I guess some of the evidence was like that's why the
Mm.
Celestials were that bubble thing because it's like it keeps that like it's almost like an oxygen tank, so
Yeah.
they don't keep like commoner air, they don't breathe in the commoner air that takes away their immortality, and they're good. And I guess one example they used was remember when what was the guy's name who went to Fishman Island and crashed?
The Don Quixote.
Yeah, I think so.
I forget
Yeah,
what his name was, like Charlos.
yeah,
No, that's the.
Charlos. Yeah, I think
I don't know if it's Charles. I think
it
that's
might not
the
be.
one we all hate. The one
It
that with
was
the punchable.
Miragard, I think.
I don't know. I just think of him as the Don Quixote that isn't Doflamingo or his family.
Anyway, somebody they pointed out like his when he went down Fishman Island, his mask broke, right, and that's why he
Mm-hmm.
panicked. Like they was like
Mm-hmm.
he was panicking because his mask broke, and he was breathing in like he was losing his immortality. And they also brought up the fact that he aged after, like, when we seen him later. That could be attributed to the fact that he did get older. But they said the fact the fact that he was exposed to it caused him to age.
Mm-hmm.
And they also talk about, like, Doflamingo being kicked out, and since he lost access to that immortality that the other celestial dragons have, he tried to find immortality through law or whatever, through that devil fruit. You know, so that was kind of, a little a piece of the theory. You know, you might actually find some gems in that theory.
Yeah, the only thing I would say against that is, what's Charles looking like he's 60 years old when he's only, like, some of them look so old for their age. It's weird. The celestial dragon.
Yeah.
The one that Luffy punched in his face, he's really not that old, but he looks older.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a really good theory. In my understanding Haki, I kind of break down that Haki literally means supreme breath, and there's this word that's called ether, and ether comes from this term in Greek mythology that it's basically the breath that the gods breathe. It was like a special property of breath. So there could be something to that.
Avengers or on Thor. I think, remember Thor, the second movie of Thor? I think that's what they call the I want to say the reality stone was called the ether.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's something that is just so divine. So maybe that area specifically does have its own version of ether. I never thought about that. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have upcoming.
Yeah. It's a lot of gems in there, so you might actually find something that could help you with your, at least spark maybe some ideas, because it is backed up with a lot of other stuff from like they talk about the lady who Dr. Kureha, and how, like, she's old but she's still she's old but she's still alive, and still healthy and shit, and like one of it, I guess he said something about, like, she was kind of like the anti-M or something like that. She's like the opposite. She's Eam's opposite.
Yeah.
Check it out. That's all I'm gonna say. Check out that discussion. Check out the reaction video or whatever. I'm
gonna probably download it and listen to it at work tomorrow.
All right. But yeah, that's all I got.
All right.
I'll be doing. What's up?
I'm saying, well, it was a pleasure doing another stream.
Yes,
Even though we had technical difficulties, I'm glad, because the more you experience, the better you get for the future.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate having you. I appreciate the collaboration. And whenever we could definitely do more of these streams. I know you said you have something to do on Sunday. I'm gonna be doing. I might be doing a reaction video on Sunday. I'm gonna look for. I don't know. I'm gonna probably find a reaction video to do, since this was kind of like our Sunday discussions. So yeah, that's what I got coming up. I got my beat video on Friday. Those what I got coming up this week. But it's good talking to you. Anyway, I'm out of here. Anyway, I appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you like the stream. Go subscribe to his channel. I'm gonna put his channel in the description box. I didn't do that, but you could also search ELiDZ in the search bar.
Which is 5 letters, ELiDZ.
Bro, it's literally in the video for you guys to search. And make sure you subscribe. I'm doing that giveaway at 50 subscribers, so make sure you subscribe. And I am out of here.